Hey, so are you someone that uses apple cider vinegar to cleanse your scalp, or one of those people that loves to do pre-poos and wash and goes and not really shampooing your hair? Or what about like wearing your hair in a lot of protective styles, meaning you don't do a lot of manipulation to it? And the most thing you do is maybe just oil your scalp or grease your scalp or put a little, again, oil in there to keep it from being dry. Then I got news for you. You really want to look at that because now we need to see if that is really the issue going on with your scalp. So is it the dry, flaky itchiness? Is it really because your scalp is dry, or is it because of what you're doing on a regular basis to your scalp? And before we get into that, if you don't know me, my name is Precious Rutlin. I am a hair growth consultant, and I teach women of color how to heal and grow their hair using holistic remedies so that they can wear their natural hair proudly. And we are a texture, restoration, and luxury hair growth company where we bridge the gap between Western medicine and women who have either lost their hair or they simply want to grow their hair without the pills, without the chemicals, and they just want to have healthy hair. And being in the hair industry over 26 years and losing hair myself, what I've noticed is that, when you get on social media or even just society in general, women have been taught, particularly the Black women, about their hair is that, it's not nice, it's not beautiful. And so women, we tend to take those words and what was said and what's projected onto us internally. And then therefore, we don't feel that we're beautiful. And so what I've done is created an 8-phase hair regrowth system where I teach women how to properly take care of their hair so that it can be healthy. And in turn, they learn also how to reconnect with themselves, love their hair again, and just overall fall in love again with their hair. And so that is why I wanted to dive into this topic today, because there's a lot of, I'm going to say, information out there where you think you could be doing the right thing for your hair and scalp, but in actuality, you could be doing more damage and harm to your hair than you're doing good. And as I work with women, I start to see the pattern as to where they've come into the misconception about their scalps. I want to go ahead and clear this up so you can be really clear about, how you're treating your hair and your scalp. And what I want you to know is that, scalp is skin and that it needs to be cleansed regularly, just like you would cleanse the rest of your body. And so what I notice is that the women that come to me, they may complain about, that they're allergic to a lot of products. And so they can't use too many, everything that they put on their scalp, it either irritates it or it's just too strong. And they get to the point of, that my scalp is always dry. It's always flaky and I can't seem to control it. And sometimes they may have to go a step further and say, is that on top of the dry, itchy, and the flakiness, is that it's it's nonstop. And I want to point out that one, dry and flaky skin or scalp is very common. And what it boils down to is, what has the person done to their hair? So, I mean, is this really a case where is it just time for the scalp and hair to be cleansed? Or is this more of a case where this person has gone on YouTube and, you know, watched a whole bunch of videos, tried all these different products, and now that you've tried all these products, now the scalp is irritated and now you're seeing the end results because you tried to take matters into your own hands and solve your own hair problem without going to a specialist that could help you with your hair and scalp problems. And so that's one of the things that I want you to take note of and listen. And so when you don't shampoo and cleanse your hair on a regular basis, the longer that you go without cleansing your scalp, the more that your scalp is going to produce the excess sebum, or you'll notice that it may be more oily or greasy. Now, you may also notice a difference because if you're using those anti-dandruff shampoos, you may notice that, you know, your scalp is fine momentarily, but then like the next 2 days or so, you're back where you used to be. And that's because of, you know, the improper hair regimen that you're using. And that needs to be changed so that your scalp can heal. So that's one thing. But I also want to talk to you about, oftentimes when you're experiencing the dry, the flaky, the itchy, the scaly scalp, it's more so due to your daily habits and how you're taking care of your hair and scalp. So what do I mean by that? So if you are someone that eats a lot of sweet sugars, you consume a lot of alcohol, then your hair cycle is going to be impacted because now your overall health is compromised, is hindered. And it's hindered because now your body can't get all of the nutrients that it needs from the foods that you're consuming. And therefore, since it can't get the nutrients, then that means what you're eating, the vitamins or the supplements that you're taking, nothing is being absorbed because it's being hindered. And now I need you to understand that, you know, sugars, the sweets, the alcohol, that all contributes to the yeast that we have naturally in our body, as well as in our skin, which is also on our scalp. So we naturally have a natural occurring amount of yeast to protect us on our scalp. And now when you're constantly consuming a lot of the sugars, the sweets, the alcohol, now your body is going into an overgrowth of yeast on the skin and the scalp. So that is when you start to see the dry, the flakiness, the crusty, and then depending on how long it's been going on, that is when you start seeing the crust, and sometimes it can move along the body. It can appear other places on your skin. So you may notice it, you know, elbows, chest, just all over your body. You may notice it to start having dry patches on your ears and your face. So different areas. And then now you're at the point where you're embarrassed, frustrated, confused, irritated, annoyed, because, you know, you have to keep dealing with this whole dandruff issue. So I wanted to point that out and really make sure that you understood that just because if you do have a dry, flaky scalp, is it really due to that, you know, it really is dry, or could it be what's going on with your daily habit, meaning that, you know, you're not cleansing your hair regularly, you're not eating regularly. So before you can say that, you know, this is my particular symptom, I want you to look at a few things. And so I do have a few tips for you that you can try like right now to help you get some results and see help if you can, you know, alleviate some of the issues that are going on right now with your scalp. And so one of the things that you can do to help promote a healthy scalp and hair growth is to, cleanse your scalp and your hair regularly. Now, I know that there's the myth about if you shampoo your hair too much, that it's going to dry out. But I'm here to tell you that that is a myth and that will not happen, because your hair, if you're cleansing it regularly and you're doing your hair regimen properly and you're using quality products on your hair and your scalp, it will not dry out. So definitely take me up on that and try to shampoo and cleanse your hair more frequently. So if you're used to shampooing maybe your hair once a week, try to do it twice a week or every 3 days. So it's just going to depend on how severe your symptoms are, or as far as like how frequently you need to cleanse and shampoo your hair until you can get that condition under control and get it managed. Number 2, I want you to strongly revisit your hair regimen. So for instance, like, when was the last time that you changed out your hair products? Or, could it be that you're trying all these different products because your friend used it, they told you about it, it was good recommendation, good reviews, but, you're using and taking their advice, but you don't really know what their hair condition was other than what they told you. Like, you don't really know the severity of what their scalp problems were. And I also want you to know that, like, in general, like, our bodies overall, like every 10 years or so, like, all of the cells within our body, they regenerate themselves, and so we completely, have new skin, so to speak. Like, everything is just turnover. So what you what you used could have and eat 10 years ago, that may affect you right now. Like, you may not be able to eat that type of stuff. And it's the same thing with your hair and skin. For instance, sometimes you just got to change out soaps, whether it be for the season or it got to be for a year, because you used to use one soap and then now it was doing good. It smelled really nice on you. And now, because your skin has changed, now you got to change and use different soaps because your body just over the years, it just has changed. So it's the same thing that's going on with your hair. And then number 3, my third tip is to stop waiting so long to get help with your scalp. If you've noticed that you're having issues with your scalp and the condition has not gotten worse, so now on top of the dry, flaky, itchy, scaly scalp, now it's starting to get, bumps and pustules are starting to bust over. You get these scabs. And then if you have the itchiness, like it's just an uncontrollable itch, like it just feels like you have a crawly, you need to have that looked at, because now it's possible that you could have a fungal infection going on, all because it started because you had product buildup and didn't, shampoo your hair regularly because you're doing the fad, I was gonna say fad diet, but the trendy thing, to do with your hair. So again, these are just some things for you to think about, some things that you can implement right now to take care of your scalp and see the difference and begin to start to managing your hair. And I'll give you a great example of my client. She came to me and she was one of the ones that was really big into like the whole pre-poo thing. And so we had to immediately address that, because when I looked at her scalp, like I noticed a lot of the redness was going on. It was really tender. And then she was also complaining about, her scalp was being dry. And I, counseled her and consulted with her, and I began to dig into her history, again, her habits, to see what was she actually doing on a daily basis. And, you know, we got to the bottom of it. And so I gave her tips on what she could do to use with her hair. Actually, I shared some of these things that I just shared with you. And within 2 weeks, like, she noticed a tremendous difference with her hair and scalp, and a lot of that dryness and flakiness, it went away, all because of a simple resolve. And one of the major problems was she wasn't cleansing her hair enough. And so I just want to give you those tips so that you can at least just start there to see if that will help to remedy your dry scalp situation. Now, I also want to invite you and offer you my scalp care bundle. And in this bundle, I go into more details and give you strategies, tips, and remedies on what you can do to manage specific symptoms that you have going on with your scalp. And so if you are someone that needs that additional support, you want to know how to take care of your scalp, you want to know how to manage your hair, you want to help getting on a better hair regimen, what you've been doing isn't working for you, you're tired of spending all these money on these products, but you do realize that if you don't do anything, it's going to continue to get worse, then you need this scalp bundle. So I'm going to invite you to DM me the word scalp bundle, and my team will get you the link so that you can purchase it. Okay, this is all that I have for now. So until next time, you take